Okay, this is going to be my last attempt at recording this, but this is that Facebook problem that's rolling around. First of all, I have to say, if you got the answer 0, I don't fault you for it. I don't know why so many people are just being miserably rude. Either you haven't learned about it yet, or it's been so long since you learned it, and you haven't had any use for it in your chosen profession. There are plenty of reasons why I think it'd be reasonable to get the answer 0, to not remember order of operations or anything like that. The only reason I remembered is my teacher drilled this into our heads, almost literally. Like, seriously, she would like bang on the desk and be like, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." And I'm like, whoa, lady. But yeah, so that's basically the mnemonic device that I use to remember, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." It doesn't have to be in this exact order. The basic thing to remember is parentheses or brackets, because sometimes they do use a B instead of a P. Parentheses or brackets always go first. Then exponents, then multiply and divide. You can actually go divide or multiply, really doesn't matter, and then add and subtract. So, you know, it could be like, "Please excuse dear my Sally Aunt." It'd be fine, but you'd have to find another mnemonic that made sense. So that's the easiest way I know to remember it. Now, if you use just a regular rinky-dink calculator, you are going to get the answer 0, because the way you're entering it is essentially as if it had parentheses. So you're adding and subtracting all these numbers and then multiplying by 0, and as we all know, you know, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So if there were parentheses, that would absolutely be the case. The answer would be 0, no question. But since it's not defined in the problem on Facebook, you have to go through this order of operations to see what you need to do first, what you need to section off and figure out. There are no exponents in this particular problem, but this middle one I'm going to put an exponent in just to show. So let's just say that this was 5 to the power of 2, which can also be written 5 to the power of 2. It looks like S, I apologize. But yeah, so 5 to the power of 2 is basically 5 times 5, which means this would be 25. So you've solved that. You can move on, since again, there are no parentheses to do first. Then you move on to any multiplication or division that may be in the problem, which there is none until we get to the very end, which is the 5 times 0, which will be 0. And then we can move on to addition and subtraction. So 25, 30, 35, then we go back to 30, 35, 40, then we go back to 35, and since we're adding 0, the final answer for this would be, sorry, I lost my pen cap, would be 35. For this made-up problem. Now, this is the actual Facebook problem. Very, very simple, but so easy to mess up if you don't remember PEMDAS. So there are no parentheses, no exponents. We can multiply or divide at the very end, so we'll just section that off ourselves. You know, this isn't going to automatically appear or anything, but that's 0. So we go 5, 10, 15, 10, 15, 20, 15. And that is the correct answer to this problem. If you want to simplify it even further, well, for some people this is more simple. You look at these as -5, +5, etc. So these can cancel each other out. The -5 and the +5 cancel. This +5 and this -5 cancel. So basically the problem is just 5 + 5 + 5, which 15. The way to look at it too, it's if you've gotten to the point in school yet where they're requiring you to get one of those fancier calculators, like a T9 or something like that. That's what they were called when I went. I don't know if there's a fancier model number now, but they were just called like a T9. I think it's a function, so they may still be T9. Calculators where you have to enter the entire problem and then solve, instead of entering one number and then plus and getting an answer, you know, enter another number, minus, get a new answer. Those new calculators, the reason that you have to enter the whole thing is so that it can run through this order of operations and give you the correct answer. So, you know, if that helps kind of put into perspective or like make it more real for you,